You're watching E.T.N, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Share and subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob. This video, yes, this is a video for YouTube. I know it's been a while. I told you guys I'd be doing a Godzilla vs. Kong video, and I definitely want to do that today. So before we get started, first of all, you see this little spot right here, right above my fingertip. That's the glare from the sun behind me. This is usually why I normally don't record videos in the afternoon because of this issue. But I didn't want to wait till tonight because tonight's NXT, and I want to watch NXT because we have to do the review tomorrow for the podcast. So also, speaking of which, the podcast, there's been a lot of people asking me whether or not the podcast is free. Guys, yes, it is free. You do not have to pay anything to listen to the episodes, okay? And if you want to listen to the episodes, there are some Godzilla vs. Kong episodes up there, as well as a lot of wrestling reviews. And there's a lot of content on there already. I think I've gotten already 10 episodes, well, 9 technically. And the link for the podcast home, the home of the podcast, is podbean.com, etn.podbean.com. So you can go there to download them. They are free. If you use iTunes, you can go to iTunes. If you use Spotify, you can go to Spotify. And recently, we just got accepted to iHeartRadio, which had me very excited. I did not expect to get on iHeartRadio, but they did accept the podcast. So good stuff. The podcast has been going very well, so I want to thank those of you who have been supporting it. And we will be having a full Rise of Skywalker dive review for Friday's podcast, and it's going to be full of spoilers, and there's a lot of stuff coming. Later tonight there will be a podcast for The Mandalorian as well, covering the last 2 episodes. So, and then finally, one other thing I wanted to mention regarding the podcast is that starting in the new year, I'm going to be doing a series of deep dive Godzilla podcasts, and the point of this podcast is going to be taking certain Godzilla movies, some of the more better ones, and really going deep into the movie in itself. It's not going to be a review. It's going to be a very long, much longer than what some of you guys would want to listen to on a video, because those are normally like 10 minutes, 15 minutes for a video. But this is going to be a full episode podcast regarding certain Godzilla movies. We're going to take a deep dive into the suits, the special effects, the story, everything. So it's not a review. It's just a deep dive discussion about not all Godzilla movies, some of the more better Godzilla movies. So, and once those episodes come out, obviously I'll let you guys know here on YouTube as well, so you can go check them out. But yes, the podcasts are free, guys. You don't have to pay for them, okay? All right, now, this Godzilla vs. Kong video, what I want to talk about is the gamble. Yes, if you guys remember, when I went to see King of the Monsters, one of the first things I said when I came out the movie, and my cat's going crazy. You guys can probably hear him. He's going nuts back here. One of the things I said when I came out the theater and I recorded my video in the car and I put it up on the channel was that Michael Dougherty took a gamble. He took a gamble because the movie was definitely, while linked to the 2014 movie, as we all know, it was so different in terms of presentation, gravitas, all that. It was a very Showa-esque film, while still having some serious moments and some grounded areas. And now that we know that while this was a big pleasure to a lot of fans and was the right move, I think, to please the fans, we know that it didn't result necessarily in probably what they wanted at the box office. Now, there are a lot of things we all know played into the box office. It wasn't just the fact that the movie was, filmed so much differently and provided so much fan service. We know that the year-long marketing and revealing so much in commercials and TV spots and trailers obviously had some harm to it. Of course, critic reviews did not help. So there's a lot of factors that played into the lack of success for Godzilla King of the Monsters at the box office. Because of that, will they gamble again? Now, we do know that Godzilla vs. Kong was pretty much wrapped up, as far as we knew, right around the time King of the Monsters came out. But now we know that the movie's been delayed till next year. Later next year, I should say. So, did they take a gamble in Godzilla vs. Kong, saw what happened in King of the Monsters, and want to rear it back? Now, I'm still of the opinion that one of the reasons they pushed the movie back, or probably the primary reason they pushed it back, is because they wanted a better position. And they felt that The date they chose is a better position for the movie to succeed. I agree with that because if you look at March, March has pretty much every weekend a movie coming out that probably would have beat Godzilla at the box office. Where in November, as it stands now, there's not nearly as much competition. There's no Star Wars to worry about in the later part of the year. As far as we know, things can change. It's still a whole year away, so a lot of things can change. There's still a lot of movies that can be implemented in that month. So as the recording of this video, which is December 18th, right now, Godzilla seems to have a weekend to himself. 2 weeks before Godzilla is, of course, the Eternals, and I expect the Eternals to perform well. So will they gamble in this movie? I think they will. I think they're going to go full on, much like King of the Monsters. I don't think you can really avoid that. I don't think you can take a very overly serious, grounded approach like you did in 2014, because now you're being presented with King Kong, and that just changes the whole dynamic. And after what we know now of CCXP, we can see now that Kong's seems to be bigger than what we all expected, I think. And, of course, the aircraft carrier scene that has still a lot of people talking. So I think and I don't think we may even see that part in the movie now. Kind of like what they did in Infinity War, where you see the Hulk in the commercial spot, and then you see the movie and there's no Hulk at all. So, yeah, I think they're going to gamble this time around. And I think they have a better reason to. Number one, they're going to get people in. This movie's going to do better than King of the Monsters by far, because you have King Kong in it, or Kong, I should say. And that is going to bring in at least general audience complex. Kong is very popular here in the States. Maybe not as popular as Godzilla. Maybe you can, there can be an argument for that, but we don't have all the evidence in the world. But I'm willing to say he's not as popular, but he probably has more fans that would run to go see him face Godzilla than anything else. So I think they're going to gamble. I think we're going to get a very Showa-esque film. It wouldn't even surprise me. If they do a spot in the movie where, I don't want to say he shoves a tree down Godzilla's throat, but they maybe attempt to. I mean, we've seen him use weapons before, so there's no reason why he wouldn't grab a tree and try to do that. I can see them going that route. And I won't even be mad, man. I got to be honest with you. I wouldn't even be mad. It wouldn't even disappoint me. Not at all. Not at all. It wouldn't. I think considering that there's a chance this could be the last movie in the Monsterverse, if it happens to be the last movie, then I think they're going to go balls to the wall. I think they might be thinking to themselves, all right, this could be it. Maybe they're making some changes in the next year to add some flair to the movie, or maybe they saw some things or the fans' reaction to certain ideas or certain things that happened in King of the Monsters that were similar in Godzilla vs. Kong, and maybe they want to remove that or fix it. Who knows? But I do think the gamble is on. I really do. I don't think, and again, you got to consider Michael Dougherty was part of the writing team for this movie as well, so that plays a big role. So, and a lot of it's going to pick up where King of the Monsters left off, in terms of this is going to be happening a year removed from the time of the events we saw in King of the Monsters. I've played this clip before, but Michael Dougherty has said that what happened at the end of King of the Monsters will be paid off in Godzilla vs. Kong. So there's a stronger link. There's a stronger link from King of the Monsters to Godzilla vs. Kong than I think there was with Godzilla 2014 and Godzilla King of the Monsters. I think the link for this last movie is going to be stronger with the middle movie than the first movie was. Even certain things about the first movie are gone now. Sarazawa's gone. Dr. Graham is gone. Even the presentation of the movie is so different when you watch 2014 and King of the Monsters. So I think they're going to stick with what they did in the second movie in terms of presentation, in terms of, not being too overly grounded. They want it to be fun. They want it to be a lot of monster action. I don't think you can do a Godzilla vs. Kong movie and be overly grounded or too serious. I just don't. Because people are going to want to see Godzilla vs. Kong. They're going to want to see these two monsters clash. And after all the complaints of the human elements in both movies, to some degree, the human element in 2014 was very mediocre for people. People were upset that Cranston died so early. The story was mediocre. And then in the second movie, it was the bad jokes. Still complaining about too many human stuff, even though the action was obviously presented more in a much better way as well. So I think this one, they might just say, you know what, screw it. I don't care what the critics say. Let's just do it. You know, we've come this far. This is our third movie. It could be our last. Let's go out with a bang. And you might see a heavy dose of Godzilla vs. Kong in this movie. So now, to end this, I just want to say we have a long way to go before next year. So as you guys know, I made a video the other day saying that the channel is going to be changing to strictly Godzilla and gaming content, and that's how it's going to be. However, the amount of videos that are going to come up on the channel per week basis is going to be a lot less, especially considering there's not too much to talk about Godzilla vs. Kong related. So as we build towards like Comic-Con and the movie, you'll see a steady increase in the Godzilla discussions in terms of Godzilla vs. Kong. And I will be pulling certain kaiju topics from my podcast and putting them on the channel as well. So, and then you're going to start seeing game stuff, to be honest, probably within the next week. So, and in terms of the mockumentary, because I know some people are going to start asking about that. Well, the mockumentary, I had that planned for a 1-episode release for the next 6 months leading into the March release. Now that we've been pushed back for such a long time, I want to keep it going because the last episode is directly linked to the release week of Godzilla vs. Kong. So to keep it consistent, gonna have to release probably 1 episode every 2 months or so. So the next one I'm thinking might be February. I gotta really kind of check the timing. So I'm hoping sometime mid-February. It's not that I have to edit it or anything crazy like that. I mean, I have all the footage I need. I have everything cut up the way I need. It's just they pushed the movie back. So now I got to push back my mockumentary. So that's still happening. No worries there. And that's that. You know what I mean? That's that. As you guys know, the copyright strike is until March 7th. So I will not be live streaming back on YouTube until after March 7th. Right now, we're doing all the live streaming on Twitch. And the schedules, I'm playing with a new schedule, but the consistent schedule is still Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays at 9 p.m. But as I said, like yesterday, I streamed at 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. on Twitch. And we're going to do a lot of Star Wars this week. Saturday, we're going to talk spoilers on the live stream. And then Friday, I have a spoilers podcast. So you know to avoid that if you haven't seen it yet. And then that's that. So, but anyway, guys, that's it for this video. We'll have more coming. No worries. And that's it. So check out the podcast, check out the streams, lots going on. And until next time, this is Rob signing off for E.T.N, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Take it easy.